Hi there, welcome to my channel. It's Christy here to do the weekly reading for the sign of Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Leo, this is a general reading for the week of June 6th to the 13th. If you don't know your Moon and Rising sign, check the description box, and that way, after you plug in your information at alwaysastrology.com, if you want additional guidance for the week, you can always watch your Moon and Rising signs. I'll be doing a 3-card spread with the Healing with the Angels Tarot and drawing a card each from the Medicine Card Tarot and Wisdom of the Oracle. It's a little bit different from what I've been doing these past few weeks, but I just want to inject a little bit of healing and gentleness into the week. The past few weeks have really been about questioning and large-scale thinking and general concerns. So I'm just going to inject a little bit of healing into people's tarot this week. So I hope that you enjoy this. So Leo, I wish for you all success, joy, and wellness. I invoke spirits of love, light, and beauty. I call upon Archangels Michael, Gabriel, Metatron, and Uriel to guide this reading in peace, clarity, protection, and wisdom. I ask that Gaia please bless this reading for Leo. So Leo, so far for your central position card, we have divine guidance. Now, my dear Leo, I don't think you're incredibly surprised by this. I do feel like you feel you're doing what's best for you at the right time. You feel maybe even so positive that if a door has closed recently, that it was for the best. That you will benefit from it eventually, that it will benefit all, frankly, or if something has begun for you, that you were led to this by a variety or a series of, I would say, paths or meaning, or a series of developments have occurred in order for you to anticipate and to allow for divine guidance to take place. See, this is something that a lot of people tend to forget when we talk about spirituality. It's almost like a lot of people are turned off by spirituality because they say it's something that happens to you. Well, it isn't something that happens to you. It's something that you need to invite into your life. You have to make an allowance for this. And I think if you're conscious of that and you're aware of that and cognizant of your surroundings and doors closing and opening, not physically, but I mean, in your life, phases in your life, so to speak. I think you'll be really pleased to see this, and you might even say, like I said, like, yeah, no, I totally expect that. Now, this is interesting to have to the side of it, surrender and release is to the side of divine guidance. I do believe, generally speaking, this is part and parcel of one happening. It's reaching out and asking for the help. It's saying that I can't do this all by myself. I do require guidance. I do need help. I'm a powerful being, but there's something more powerful than me, whether you call it divine guidance, God, Gaia, Zeus, whatever you call it. I mean, there's no denying there's something higher than ourselves, right? So whatever you consider source right now, this is to you in this week, in this, what this card speaks to is about divinity, something higher than yourself, your heart's calling, maybe even your life's calling, your path, etc. I think you're going to really feel that this week, and you're really going to feel motivated to take advantage of it and act upon it this week. Wow, there's a lot of heavy spirituality in your card this week. I think the only task for you this week, Leo, if it is a task at all, is I will suggest that in order to achieve this, in order to accept this into your life, you do need to surrender ego. You do need to surrender having all the answers, like I said, having, we as human beings can only do so much. We can only manifest so much before we need to not only surrender the ego, ask for help, guidance from something higher than ourselves, but we need to release the fears around doing that, the fears around even our own attitudes and opinions about spirituality. I know in my personal life, I certainly had negative opinions around spirituality. So guess what? I didn't invite spirituality in my life at all. And I floundered for a lot of time, a lot of my life because of it. Now, I'm going to stress, I don't believe in organized religion is the answer. By the way, I do believe, however, that there is a spiritual aspect to life because of the sense of divinity. We can all see it. We can all see it in anyone who has eyes. I mean, what do we say about eyes, right? They're the seat of the soul. Well, what's a soul? It's something that all sentient beings have. Well, where does it come from? You know, some people call it God, some people call it divinity, some people call it source, some people call it spirit, some people call it Zeus. I mean, whatever. Listen, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter to me what name you put on it. All that matters is that you recognize it, and you recognize it's larger than yourself. And there is a point in time in our lives when we want to reach another level, when we want to get to something else, to get away from this what isn't working for us, or get away from fear or old habits or patterns of behavior or negative processes. Two things need to occur, and this is a fact. You need to surrender the ego, surrender having all the answers, knowing what's going to happen next, primarily, and then release the fear, release clinging to, even if it is negative, sometimes we cling to things because we know what's going to happen at the end of it, right? Well, that could even include relationships. Some people stay in relationships too long because, well, it's the devil we know, right? That's a political term, but we're going to accept the devil we know so that we don't have to take a chance on something we don't know, and we don't know what's going to occur at the end of it. But this week I'm going to suggest is the week for you to break out of that, get away from that thinking, because not only do you have divine guidance in as a sense of comfort and support and guidance this week, literally, but you have Archangel Michael, you have a sense of belonging to something and being aware of something, and even in receipt of something that's much larger than yourself on a prayer level, okay? Listen, again, if you're not the spiritually minded person, prayer doesn't appeal to you, think of it as a wish. Think of it as, a large scale dream. So dream, wish, prayer, whatever, as long as it's definitive and it's about getting to your highest source, okay, your highest level through the release of fears and doubts, and in the process of surrendering the ego to what is your highest calling. Sometimes it's not what we thought it was, and sometimes it's not glamorous and easy, right? But I will also suggest here that nothing worthwhile ever is. So let's look at these up close in detail. You can see that the star that she's reaching for, this angel here, is a heart. Leo is the sign of the heart, actually. Your animal is the lion. This is all about courage. Perhaps it's literally about having the courage to be able to release and surrender here. See, courage gets undermined in a really significant way, unfortunately, Leo. And courage is considered something that you just have. Anybody, right? Anybody has courage. Oh, you have problems, oh, you just have courage. Or you have to reach the next level, you don't know how to do it, just have courage. But sometimes that comes in the form of faith. Faith can be courage, and don't be misled here either. Any type of courage means that you're facing a fear. Courage literally means knowing that there's something to be fearful of and doing it anyway. That's the epitome of courage. So this week could be a real internally or spiritually courageous week for you, Leo, if this is indeed what's going on for you. Letting go of those fears, letting go of those traps of, this isn't for me, this won't work for me, what's the point in reaching out, what's the point in asking for help. Trust, have faith, put the ego aside for the moment. Something larger awaits you. Trust me here. This is what this reading is saying, at least for the week, Leo. And again, with your Archangel Michael, big prayers, big results this week. If this isn't your cup of tea, there are a multitude of archangels to pray to. I would listen. To each their own. I was going to say stay clear of Archangel I think Satan was an archangel, but um, maybe don't delve into the dark side. I don't think there's any need for that. We can get all of our needs and wants met through higher channels for the good of all, okay? We don't need to take or steal from anyone else, and higher levels, higher frequencies are always about the good of all, and I really do think that most Leos have this at their core. So I would reach for something that appeals to you. There's always saints that you can pray to, God or Gaia, Mother Mary, are other avenues or channels of divine expression and divine assistance this week. However, check out Archangel Michael. He's definitely reaching out to you. So give it a shot. This may be who you have to communicate with, or someone in the Archangel realm is someone that you have to express a prayer to. And remember that all prayers, in order for them to be heard on high vibrational levels, well, on any level, it's all vibrational, but certainly on a high vibrational level, is that those prayers and intentions need to be full of feeling and genuine feelings. So be aware of the terminologies that you're using. If you have something large, grand scale, or complicated, for example, that you're reaching out for and you're asking for help, or you want to see the path, the clearest path through, perhaps narrow down those thoughts, prayers, or beliefs or intentions to a really nice, concise sentence, and then express it with feeling. Really get to the nitty-gritty of what you're saying, particularly if you create a sentence out of something that's complicated or something that's very intentional for yourself. You can remember it, right? It takes on, the terminologies within that sentence or prayer. Those words themselves carry vibration. So if you're very intentional about what you're expressing this week, I think you'll be very happy with what occurs because of that. And again, just to speak back to the surrender and release, they even sound like they're kind of the same word, but two different things are happening there, particularly because in your spread, Leo, I do see the surrender of the ego, the surrender of having all the answers, the surrender of being liked, accepted, all the rest of it. I think that is part and parcel of the release of the fear around that, right? So we are looking for a jumper card from this deck. I don't know what it is about this deck this week, but it is struggling to find a card for my readings. So let's just keep shuffling another. I'm going to give it a few more seconds. If I don't get a card to jump, I will. There we go. So we have the deer, and the deer's keyword is gentleness. So this is a real call for you to be gentle with yourself, first and foremost. It could even be this sense of relief, this sense of feeling gentleness for yourself and expressing that in other avenues in your life. It's also really important as an attitude to be gentle with oneself, particularly when learning something, particularly when trying something new or reaching out for help. Do it in a gentle way. Treat yourself gently, and don't let anyone else treat you unkindly or harshly ever, but particularly this week, because you're in a heightened state and you do require gentleness and you do require higher vibrational energy this week, Leo. And then for your final card, you have flexible. This just simply means that for the week, you have what it takes to get through what you will be encountering this week. You're going to find the answers to the concerns that you have, and you're going to be flexible enough to get around this. This is also a fertility symbol here. So there could be flexibility around goals or achievements or even desires here about what you plan to do next. But I do feel if there are questions around this, I think asking for help and looking to higher vibrational input and treating yourself gently and being gentle with the process, particularly in surrendering the ego, will really create a loving atmosphere for yourself and perhaps even new and wonderful habits in your life. So Leo, that is your reading for the week. I hope that you enjoyed it and it was helpful and healing to you on some level. Make sure you subscribe for your weekly readings, and I look forward to seeing you next week for your next weekly reading. Bye for now.